Let's talk about actually making a show like Life on Mars, because it's a period piece, of course. Presumably they have to dress the areas. And one of the feels for me watching it, for someone who actually grew up, you know, as a young man and then a teenager throughout the 70s, was to see it so artfully recreated, to see the shops, to see the clothes and hear the music again. And I imagine for you it must be kind of strange, because you were really just a little kid then. You were born in, what, 1970? Or?
70, yeah.
So do you remember much of that period itself?
I do remember little bits of it, yeah. I think my memories start from about 1977, the Sex Pistols, and that really hot summer we had. I think it was 76 or something.
76 was the hot one,
yeah. I remember all that. I remember Elvis Presley dying, obviously, August 16th, 1977. Yeah. Very well.
Do you remember where you were when you heard that news?
I remember exactly where I was. I remember seeing the billboard when I came out of school, and it just said the king is dead, and I knew exactly what it meant because my dad was so into him. And I went home, and it's the first time I saw my dad cry, I think. I remember it very, very, very clearly, yeah.
That's a very sweet memory. I don't know what to say with that kind of thing, because it's actual genuine emotion, and I'm so used to dealing with that. Let's talk about my corset again. But that's a really sweet memory of you. And then,
it's a 70s memory. Like, I can't remember many things, but I remember Starsky and Hutch, I remember Elvis Presley dying, I remember the Sex Pistols.
That's essentially the 70s. That's all you needed to know.
That's it, isn't it? Put a space opera in there, you're away.
Spangles?
Yeah, Spangles. Yeah. And the flying saucer things with the...
You can still get them.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can still get them. You can't get Spangles in, but you can get the little flying saucers full of the sherbet.
Oh, I didn't know.
What's your favourite confectionery?
It changes, obviously. It's like my favourite Beatles album. It changes every week.
Are you a big Beatles fan?
Yeah.
I think they're overrated.
Really? I think you're wrong.
Who's wrong, him or me? Thank you. It's all right, we'll add that later. I like Yoko Ono's albums.
Do you?
Yeah, do you ever... No, don't laugh, you ingrate. Have you ever listened to a Yoko Ono album?
I have, yeah.
OK, which one?
Is it Walking on Thin Ice or something?
That's a good album.
Yeah.
Have you... Is that the one that's got Don't Worry, Kyoko, Mummy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow?
I can't remember.
That's a great song. Don't you laugh.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, you better remember.
The names of the songs escape me, but I remember. Yeah, I've got
OK. I know that you're a big music fan. You love your music, don't you?
Yeah.
OK, you're a Beatle fan, and you were in a band for a while, or you're still in a band occasionally? I'm not sure.
No, I was. We've split up now. We split up a couple of years ago. Yeah, I was in a band called Magic Alex.
And were you hoping the band would be the big thing for you, or did you always want to be an actor and that was a side project?
Well, the thing is with the band is, I wasn't expecting anything from it. I mean, I've always done that. It's what I did before I was an actor. I did the clubs, you know, when I was a kid, and the Northern Working Men's Circuit and all that. And I was a guitarist anyway, but when I formed the band, I was already kind of sort of fairly established as an actor, and it was all out the blue. I didn't expect it to go as well as it did, and we ended up supporting Echo and the Bunnymen.
Wow.
A couple of times.
That's a proper big gig then.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And as a support act, were there people still walking in? Were there enough people there for it to feel like you were performing to an interested crowd? Or were they drifting in from the back going, no, they're not on yet? And
well, it was a bit of both.
Yeah,
a bit of both.
That must be soul strong. I always try and pay attention to the support act if I'm there in time to make them feel a bit better about things.
Yeah. I feel bad for them, don't you?
Yeah, but they're normally shit, of course.
Exactly.
What sort of music was it?
I don't know. It was really kind of... It was just sort of, you know, there was harmonies and there was jangly guitar, sort of maybe Stone Roses-y, Beatles-y, Happy Mondays.
Power pop?
Velvet Underground.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Did you record anything?
Yeah, but we never released it.
So where's the master tape of that?
It's in my house, mate.
Come on.
Yeah.
Next time you come on, whip it out. Let's have a listen.
It's really good. And
but don't say that. How vain. Were you signed?
Well, it
can't have been that good then. Never mind. Well, we couldn't.
Well, I couldn't really. It was a choice, really, between doing that and doing this, and I was doing this already.
Oh, so what did you do in the band again?
I play guitar.
So you were a guitarist, lead guitarist?
Yeah.
You know, joking aside, that must have been a bit of a wrench for you to have to leave that behind, to make that decision.
Yeah, in a way, but then you got people coming... Once I did a programme called The Lakes in the late 90s.
Which was a huge hit, and it was a great show, yeah?
Yeah, and you get people coming to see the band and just sort of stood there staring and pointing. And I'm quite shy, and I'm not really into all that, and eventually it got on my nerves.
It is, because Keanu Reeves, I know, played in the band for a while. I think people were going to see him just because it was not really into the music, just because they wanted to see the bloke from the movies.
Exactly.
And, you know, that must have been tricky. You've played musicians in film, of course. You played Bernard Sumner from New Order in 24 Hour Party People.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of their stuff? Were you looking for that role, or would you have just taken any part that was going in that film?
I am a fan of their stuff, yeah. I was a big fan when I was younger. And I was just made up he offered it me. I mean, there was a vague thing that I looked like him, and...
I think you're better looking than him, to be honest with you.
God bless you. He's a lovely fella.
Yeah, I mean, you're not that good looking, but you're better looking than a bloke out there.
No, you made it very, very clear, Jonathan, I'm not that good looking.
Oh, you're a very good looking man. I'm just a bit threatened by your good lookingness. That's what it is. Now, here's the thing which frankly shocks and terrifies me, because where are you from initially, John?
I'm from the north. I was born just everywhere. I was born in Leeds, and I moved to Burnley, Nelson, Manchester. So I lived all around there, but I left home when I was 16. So
in the kind of northern triangle, we call it.
Yeah.
Burnley, Manchester, around there. Now, and presumably you had a fairly average working class or lower middle class family life, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were exposed to a normal level of cultural exchange. You would have watched regular television shows. You would have gone perhaps occasionally out to a football match, maybe to see some other sporting event.
Yeah.
The cinema on a regular basis.
Sometimes.
A live gig.
Yeah.
Opera or ballet play a part in your youth?
No.
Good. Now listen. But John has developed, somewhat late in life, I feel, a love for ballet.
Yeah, I like going to watch it.
Well, obviously you don't do it.
No. Obviously.
No, not obviously. But you know what I mean? You'd have to train for years.
No.
Although they have cleverly mocked up a photograph of you in action there. Actually, you could do it. But what is it about ballet you love? Because and it is quite interesting that you would find love for something, because that is an art form which I think... I've dabbled with opera. I've been to see a couple of operas.
Yeah.
And I always think I'm going to... This is what I should be going to see. I'm a man of a certain age now. I go there and it is kind of wasted on me, really.
I would be the same with opera. Because I kind of like... You know, I like some classical music. I like classical music. And I thought, you know, the opera, I'm not having the opera.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do it for me.
You want the little bits from the adverts, and then you want to go home, don't
Yeah,
you?
you want the good bits.
Yeah, you want the bit from the British Airways advert. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
but to get to that, you've got 2 hours of rubbish to see.
Yeah. No.
But ballet, what is the appeal of the ballet?
Well, what it is I booked 2 tickets to go and see the Nutcracker for me and the missus.
Right, OK.
Surprise, you know.
That's a kind of
Christmas.
real kind of starters ballet, isn't it? Nutcracker scene.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And we'd been out all night, and we'd partied,
Yeah,
and we'd stayed up, and we went to see it, because if I'd have gone to bed, I wouldn't have woken up in time. So we went to see it in that kind of state.
Slightly the worse for wear.
Yeah.
But perhaps open to new experiences in a way that a normally sober and rested you would not have been.
Absolutely.
Defences down.
Absolutely.
Got it.
And strangely enough, it was just magical. It
Yeah.
was like, wow, you know. And I thought it was great. And so we booked to go and see another Sleeping Beauty or something. And I tell you what it is. If I go and see a play, there's always somebody, unless it's like a two-hander or something, there's always somebody in the play that I think's a bit shit. And it ruins it for me. But in this, because it's so far removed from me, I can just appreciate it for the spectacle that it is. And
That's interesting. So it's a form of art, it's a form of public entertainment, a performance, live performance, but because it isn't on your territory as such, you're not judging it harshly.
Absolutely. I can just drink... I know nothing about it, so I just watch it and I think, wow, that's amazing.
Do you always stay up all night the night before? Is that kind of prerequisite? Because that would cost you a fortune in babysitting, wouldn't it?
Oh, no way.
John, a pleasure spending time with your company. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
The DVD of Life on Mars is out right now. If you didn't see it on TV, if you missed it like I did, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's fantastic, and John is brilliant in it. John, great to have you on the show. Mr. John Simm, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, John. That was great fun. We'll cut some of my nonsense out. I mean, great. What a great guest. Thank you.